Just a short drive south of Koblenz, you'll find an idyllic corner of Western Germany that's home to several adorable communities. These places speak to the heart of the country's history. Bacharach am Rhein is the full name of this hidden European gem that's known better as simply Bacharach. Author Victor Hugo once called this place one of the prettiest towns in the world. Wine enthusiasts have been coming here for years to enjoy its top-notch vineyards and wineries. Lately, more and more travellers have discovered Bacharach, and it's quickly become a destination for vacationers who are in the know. It's much more than a tourist trap. Bacharach offers a unique local events, stunning vistas. It's also known for its wine, history, and art. Welcome to Via Travellers. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel to get the latest travel updates, destinations, and guides from around the world. We include all the most important location information in our video descriptions, so you can get right to planning your next trip. If your upcoming vacation takes you to the Rhine Valley, stick around to find out why Bacharach deserves a place on your itinerary. We'll tell you the best things to do in Bacharach so you can plan the ultimate vacation to remember. Make sure you stay to the end of the video because each one of these places is not to be missed. If you want more content like this, check out the Via Travellers newsletter where we feed your wanderlust on a regular basis. You can also find us on Instagram at Via Travellers. The link to everything you need to know is in the description below. Now let's get right to the top 10 things to do in Bacharach, Germany. Start your visit to Bacharach with a brief hike through the well-marked trails to the Postenturm. It may not look like much at first, but trust us, this place is everything you need to get your vacation off on the right foot. This former defence stronghold, and part of the region's mail service, now stands as a relatively unassuming observation tower that's open to the public. From below, it may seem like a simple tower, but when you reach the top, you'll experience some of the most breathtaking views in the Rhine Valley. Visitors love to look out over the town and point out destinations they want to visit. Join them! Now surrounded by vineyards, the Postenturm feels remote, but it's easily accessible from town for those able to take a short walk. Bring your kids and show them the amazing view, or bring your sweetheart and enjoy a sip of wine after a romantic adventure. This is the kind of place that takes your breath away and reminds you why you came to Western Germany, because it's so damn pretty. If the hike to Postenturm helped you work up a hunger, then head to Haus. About 1 minute away from the tower by car, this 14th century house is now an excellent restaurant. You'll enjoy their traditional dishes, local wines, and culture while you're there. If the weather permits, outside seating is also an option. Known as the Old House in English, Haus looks anything but old and run down. Despite definitely being marked by its age, it's a feast for both the stomach and the eyes with its traditional facade and interior and its delicious home cooking. Their menu offers dishes that will truly give you a taste of the Rhine. Offering a variety of meals and mealtimes, Haus has different hours of operation throughout the week. Be sure to check their hours in advance so you can decide whether to come for their lunch or dinner menus. This next example of a historic site kinda takes the cake, not least because it dates all the way back to the year 1094. It's time to pay a visit to Bacharach's famous St. Peter's Church. It ain't just for history buffs either. Architecture and art enthusiasts alike will have plenty to take in at this church. Standing like a beacon in the town centre, it's impossible to miss St. Peter's Church. It's been renovated to keep its structure and beauty intact, but the storied past is still there. Inside, you'll even find some of the original furnishings from the time it was officially founded in the 12th century. And the history buffs won't want to miss the sight of Johann Friedrich von Wolfskehl's tomb. Mortally wounded in 1609, this knight fought and died in France. His monument is a true work of art, depicting several fascinating symbolic images and phrases. Be sure to plan time to really appreciate this beautiful element of the area's history. When you're checking out Bacharach attractions, you'll quickly realise the importance of wine in this region. Vineyards and cosy taverns fill the small town with a classy, laid-back feel, which in itself is an important part of Bacharach's history. From the 15th to the 19th centuries, an annual wine market took place in front of what is now known as the Marktturm, or Market Tower. Funnily enough, this place was originally a detention centre, largely for petty crimes and misdemeanours, like enjoying too much wine. From then, it went on to hold several other historical purposes, until it became a wine tavern and finally a private residence. That means you won't be taking a tour of the inside. but the architecture and facade of this beloved local landmark are well worth a look. A lot of visitors looking for places to explore in the Rhine Valley come to Rheinstein Castle, and I don't blame them. Constructed in the early 14th century, this epic stronghold boasts some of the most stunning views of the region. As it was reconstructed in the 19th century, the castle also features a variety of historical and architectural influences. Today it's a memorable museum site that's open to the public. There's something for everyone here. In the Knights Hall, guests will see some of the most amazing stained glass windows in the region. The courtyard opens up to a breathtaking view of the Rhine. This courtyard, known as the Burgundy Garden, features a 500-year-old grapevine that continues to produce grapes to this day. And of course, you'll want to stop by the gift shop for a souvenir. There's even a restaurant reserved for castle visitors only. So yeah, it really does go without saying that Rheinstein Castle belongs on any list of places to visit in Bacharach. While we're on the topic of great castles, it's time to add Stahleck Castle to your list. Like many castles, this has a fascinating history and has been rebuilt after falling into ruin hundreds of years ago. After the 30 Years' War and Palatine War of Succession, Stahleck Castle had fallen into disrepair. It remained a relic until 1925, when builders brought it back to its former glory using historical models. Now it is a popular hostel that is nearly always booked. Backpackers take note, you'll need to plan well in advance if you want to stay here. Even if you aren't an overnight guest, the site is well worth a visit. Explore the architecture and imagine the position it once held as one of the most fortified strongholds on the river. And you'll have a beautiful view of the Rhine at Stahleck, which you can admire as you contemplate the past, and maybe where that next glass of wine is coming from. If you are looking for that next glass, look no further than Bastian Vinothek. This is a family-owned wine business that owns most of the vineyards you'll see in Bacharach. In fact, the family also owns Haus, where it operates another vineyard. That's the island in the middle of the Rhine that's visible from just about any Bacharach sightseeing location. Friedrich Bastian is the current owner, and his skills don't just stop at winemaking. He's also known for being a classically trained opera singer. If you catch him at the Vinothek, you might just be able to hear a song or two while you enjoy your drinks. If you're heading to or from Stahleck Castle, this is an easy stop you'll want to make that's absolutely worth your time. Wernerkapelle is no longer a functioning chapel. You could probably guess that on your own though, because it doesn't have a roof. Weirdly enough, it's one of the few historical sites in this small town that still stands in ruins today. What we can still see is an amazing example of a high Gothic church built in the 13th and 14th centuries. Much of its structure is still visible, such as its enormous Gothic window frames. Prior to its construction, violent religious riots had broken out over false accusation of a murder of a boy called Werner. The Jewish community was wrongfully blamed, and at least 4 Jewish locals were murdered as reprisals. To commemorate this awful event and serve as a reminder of peace, the chapel was built, only to be ruined during the War of the Grand Alliance in 1689. Some believe this site contained healing powers, and worshippers used to make pilgrimages to the chapel. So make one of your own. Admire one of Bacharach's most important landmarks. Not to be confused with Stahleck Castle, Stahlberg Castle is another major location that stands in ruins today. The exact history of this place is somewhat a mystery, though most believe it was built in conjunction with Stahleck. The clues are in the overall structure and shape that we can see at the site. This is a destination for bringing your walking shoes and your camera. The ringed wall of Stahlberg Castle will take you on an interesting path through a history of Bacharach, treating you to creepy towers and walkways that seem like they're straight out of a ghost story. Much of it is overgrown with grass, but it is still walkable, and it's the perfect way to spend a few hours on a clear day if you're looking to get some exercise. You're also sure to get a perspective of the town that you wouldn't see anywhere else, so take some snaps while you're at it. If you're going to Germany, you need to spend some time getting to know the Rhine. And not just because it's one of Europe's major waterways and one of the most famous rivers in the world. The River Rhine is simply stunning, and one of the largest defining features of Bacharach. Consequently, Bacharach is an extremely popular destination for travellers who want to explore the river in style. Cruises depart from the town regularly, serving wines and views on board a comfortable vessel that takes guests on a relaxing ride. It's one of the best ways to end your stay in Bacharach. On board a Rhine River cruise, you can look back at all the locations you visited in Bacharach, taking pictures and sipping local spirits along the way. Words simply can't describe the beauty of the Rhine, and there's nothing like actually riding on the water itself. You'll see what I mean. The quiet town of Bacharach feels a lot like stepping into a fairy tale land. It's filled with history, art, culture, and so much more. The views are magical, and the wines certainly help make this place seem all the more dreamy. This tiny corner of Germany boasts more cultural hotspots than some cities many times its size. For these reasons and so many more, Bacharach is quickly becoming an essential stop on any European traveller's itinerary. If you get the chance to go, please be sure to check out some of the locations we talked about here. If you already visited, feel free to leave a comment about your Bacharach experience. We love hearing about what hidden gems you found on your travels. But as for us, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. You can find essential information for all these locations in the descriptions below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another update about amazing places all around the world. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, be sure to give us a like. That really helps us bring the content you're looking for. Thanks again. This is James bidding you auf Wiedersehen, and we'll see you again next time with another unforgettable adventure. Until then, keep exploring.